Recently, Bitcoin took a dip of about 10K, from around 58K to 48K on Monday, where it's been hovering. So is this it for the recent growth of crypto's poster boy? This is Josh from Phemex team. Before we start, please click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, turn on alerts, and share this video with your friends. We've all been captivated by Bitcoin's comeback over the past year as it began to climb from below 10K during this time last year. Recently, we saw it surge to almost 60K with plenty of confidence from supporters of reaching the 100K mark this year. Some going as far to calculate a future $500,000 or million mark. So new investors in Bitcoin may find themselves discouraged by this recent pullback in price, especially those who bought in for the first time near the peak. Nonetheless, long-term investors and market analysts seem less concerned by the recent price drop. Rather, many of them feel almost relieved. After such a heated bull run, it's about time for Bitcoin to cool off a little. This can be a sign of decreased volatility, as a fall in price is usually somewhat proportional to the rise. So far, the pullback has been relatively mild by crypto standards, and many see it as a sign that in the long term, the price will keep experiencing a steady climb. That being said, it's still worth considering what prompted the pullback. Many are pointing to Musk's reply tweet last Friday that stated, "BTC and ETH do seem high, lol." Considering the influence Tesla's Bitcoin purchase seemed to have on Bitcoin price, as well as the influence Musk's Dogecoin tweets had, it's reasonable to assume future crypto prices will probably be influenced by his statements. However, it's an admittedly curious thing for Musk to say about his biggest company's recent investment. So if you'll indulge me, let's consider some motivations. First possibility, he may have simply been trying to be agreeable as he was replying to a rather anti-Bitcoin tweet. But you'd imagine at this point he's well aware of the influence of his public statements. Second possibility, he was trying to influence the price drop so that he could buy at a lower price. But why not use this tactic before purchasing a huge chunk in the first place? Third possibility, he thought it had shot up at an unsustainable speed, and he was just benignly signaling this thought to investors. The fourth possibility is that he made this tweet with even deeper plots in mind, such as testing the waters of his influence or trying to stabilize the price to promote steadier growth. Anyway, this is all psychological guesswork, but no matter what his motives were, it's important to remember that Musk's words do appear to have significant influence on crypto prices. So if he tweets that Bitcoin's price is high, it seems reasonably safe to assume it's gonna take a dip. But this time, Musk isn't the only influence being pointed out. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has been in the news recently due to her comments on Bitcoin. She recently stated, "I don't think that Bitcoin is widely used as a transaction mechanism," which shouldn't be news for anybody familiar with Bitcoin. The concern does have merit though, since the proposed value of Bitcoin is its use as currency. But any proponent of Bitcoin will say that it takes time for such a new concept to mature. She also stated, "To the extent it is used, I fear it's often for illicit finance. It's an extremely inefficient way of conducting transactions, and the amount of energy that's consumed in processing these transactions is staggering." So let's break this into two parts. First, Bitcoin's use for illicit finance. This is a talking point amongst US government officials, and it's something to keep an eye on as government restrictions would likely cause prices to plummet. There's a lot that could be said here, but for now, let's leave it at that. Secondly, the energy used for Bitcoin's transactions. Yeah, it's actually pretty staggering, and it only increases as more transactions are made. On the other hand, Bitcoin proponents will argue that it's a natural part of a new technology and that there are unaccounted for energy costs when people are needed to oversee transactions. Furthermore, the mining method that costs so much energy is called proof of work, but Ethereum is moving toward another method called proof of stake, which requires much less energy. Many experts believe that Bitcoin will follow suit after Ethereum proves the proof of stake method. Yellen also expressed concern in the volatility of cryptocurrency. Wait, what? Cryptocurrency is volatile? Seriously though, obviously she's not wrong. So I think the takeaway from this statement isn't that we need to reconsider something we already know. It's that we can consider this kind of statement made by someone of an older generation, holding a high position in the government, and being reported on traditional news media is seemingly influencing the price of crypto, which to me looks like evidence of crypto becoming more mainstream. And lastly, for Yellen, she indicated her support of the Federal Reserve creating their own digital currency, stating, "I think it could result in faster, safer, cheaper payments, which I think are important goals." On one hand, this can be seen as the obvious power move where the government tries to create their own version of an emerging idea in order to have more control over it. On the other hand, even if control is the goal, this still indicates some level of support for the idea of cryptocurrency, and it makes it less likely the US government will make any major moves against existing crypto in the near future without strong reasons. Now, sticking with the theme of Bitcoin price and US government officials, let's take a look at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, who recently expressed optimism for the US economy to see positive trends later this year, but also stated, "We don't really see how a burst of fiscal support or spending that doesn't last for many years would actually change those inflation dynamics. There's a long way to go, and monetary policy is accommodative and needs to continue to be accommodative." So this sounds like strong evidence of continued stimulus plans, which, as we discussed in a previous video, is a major indicator of crypto growth, especially for Bitcoin, as it's recently become promoted as a hedge against inflation. So if more USD is printed and distributed as part of a stimulus plan, it's extremely likely much of it will get pumped into Bitcoin and cause the price to rise. Indeed, even just the news of Powell's expected announcement of continued stimulus seems to have pushed the Bitcoin price from around 48K to 51K. Furthermore, Powell told Congress that the Federal Reserve is looking very carefully into issuing a US digital dollar, which mirrors Yellen's recent statements and signals that the idea of a US digital dollar is making headway with the government. Historically, when the US government has indicated interest in issuing a digital US dollar, the crypto market has experienced a surge. So for the short term, it's reasonable to expect that any statements about progress being made in this direction to result in crypto prices raising. But in the long term, it's less certain. On one hand, the government may want to show support for the existing cryptocurrencies in an effort to garner support in their own digital currency. On the other hand, they will naturally trend towards supporting their own currency and the security of tracking users and transactions directly. Yet in turn, if the US government moves toward pushing their own obviously trackable digital currency, more privacy-focused people may move toward the existing crypto markets. However, this also means that the US government may make policy decisions that support their own digital currency and combat the security concerns of less traceable cryptocurrency. So, all in all, there's no reasonable prediction to make about how government policies or initiatives will play out in regard to crypto without taking vast liberties of assumption. But it's definitely an area worth keeping an eye on for those in the crypto space. Oh yeah, we were talking about the recent Bitcoin price fluctuations. It basically boils down to, move along, there's nothing to see here. The recent price jump was due for a cool down, and the low it has reached so far is not particularly remarkable drop for crypto. For now, analysts generally expect it to continue going up in value steadily. Musk's tweet about it seeming high and Yellen's remarks about its dangers seem to have spurred the expected price drop, and Powell's recent remarks seem to have influenced it to begin increasing again. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you don't have a Phemex account yet, just click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Create a Phemex account and you will get a 7-day free premium membership trial and other trading bonuses. To learn more about Phemex and cryptocurrencies, watch out the videos in the box on the left. And if you're new to the crypto world, have a look at the videos on the right for some of Phemex's user tutorials. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.